Hello, my friends. We are applying some lip color right now because sometimes when I get on my computer and I see myself on this camera, I'm like, we just need some color. We got some bright lights on my face. So I'm showing up for you today with my bright lips. Good morning, or whatever time it is you're listening to this. Today, I am showing up in response to a social media post that I made where I asked people if they felt like they had a firm grasp on what it looked like to embrace the low vibrational moments of life. And because that's something that's circulating right now, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it because when we reject things like negativity, quote unquote negativity, and it's all about positivity and high vibe, then that is right in line with toxic positivity. Toxic positivity is rejecting uncomfortable emotions. That's essentially what it is. It's like, you've got to feel good all the time. And I'm going to bring it back to something that we said in an earlier episode. Mark Manson says that is a form of entitlement. It's a form of entitlement to believe that you deserve to feel good all the time. And I think that just really hits home. So thank you, Mark Manson, for your no BS insights to life. Today, I am going to fill you in on how it could look to embrace your low vibe moments. But I'm going to give you a little information first about vibrational frequencies and emotions and things like that. So when we talk about vibe, we're talking about energy. And when we talk about energy, we're usually talking about our emotions or our feelings, because that is what our energy and our vibe is. Okay, that's what we're talking about. And the law of attraction, which is involved in all of this whole philosophy, is essentially that like attracts like. So when we want to create, or better yet, attract the life of our dreams, we need to, quote unquote, raise our vibration so that we can attract the best. We can attract the highest. So I have pulled a chart. There's a lot of them. This one was the easiest to read. A lot of them that chart out and kind of go through the different levels of frequencies and vibrations for each emotion. So the higher ones, the lower ones, which ones are in like more of the creative energy field and which ones are more in the destructive energy field. Okay. I think this will help to really get the point across that I'm trying to make by going through this real quick. So if you're not on YouTube and you can't see this chart, you can see this in the show notes. But I'll pull it up here for all of you YouTube people, okay? So this is new. Since I was introduced to this years and years and years ago, there's a new category on top, which is enlightenment. It's the highest frequency vibration of any emotion or feeling or energy. And this is when you feel powerfully inspired. This is when you feel just totally connected, where you just feel divinity within and without you, and you're connected. And then there's peace, and then below that is joy. And then below that is love, reason, acceptance, willingness, neutrality, courage. Now, this is the baseline. This is where you start to move into creative energy, out of destructive energy and into creative energy, is that courage, that feeling of empowerment, when life is exciting, when you make moves, take risks, and believe in yourself. Courage is when you start to change the game for you. I can attest to that. I think that there's something to that for sure. And that you probably can relate to that as well. Then pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. Desire, I think, is this is like desire in the insatiable kind of desire. Okay, like just wanting to get your fix. I don't know, that's a weird one because desire actually is a really good thing. So I think this is just weird semantics, but it's more greed, insatiable desire. Okay, that is the chart. Again, let me go back and say that toxic positivity is rejecting uncomfortable emotion. And I said uncomfortable on purpose, not bad. Uncomfortable does not equal bad. The only emotions that are truly destructive really are guilt and shame, which closely follow apathy. I don't see how any of those emotions can serve us, really. I mean, I guess we could say, oh, once you hit rock bottom, yeah, I guess. That would be the only time where I can see guilt, shame, and apathy being helpful. So if we can all just get on the same page for a moment and say that every other emotion can serve a purpose. And we can be allowed to live in for a moment and embrace our lower vibe moments. Let's talk about how that could look, how we can do that. I have a few ideas for you here. So first, remember that they are just moments. They are moments. They are not the rest of your life. We have this really strange, our brains are created and function in this strange way to fear that when things are going wrong, they will always go wrong, and to not be able to see outside of them. It's part of that negativity bias. It's part of that protective survival instinct that when things are going wrong, all you see is the things that are going wrong. It's really hard to remember the positive, to remember the good that has happened and that will happen. And we get stuck in this, in our feelings, and as if they are eternal, and that is how we'll always feel. So remember, just remembering this is just a moment, I can just let it be, can be very helpful in feeling it and allowing it. Next, stop qualifying your emotions. Like I said, good, bad, throw that language out the window. In my opinion, that's rarely helpful. And that's the language that I prefer to use, is helpful versus hurtful, rather than good versus bad. The language around it, I shouldn't feel this. This is bad emotion. This is negative. Negative is bad. Not true. Negative is not bad. It just is. And that's what our emotions are. They just are. They're not good or bad. They just are. And when you feel your emotions, I'm just going to tag this on as a caveat. When you feel your emotions, it doesn't matter why. When you have feelings well up in you, in that moment, you can honor them because they just are. I tell my kids this. I don't know why I'm mad. I shouldn't be. I was like, hey, if you're mad, you're mad. That just is. That's not right or wrong or good or bad. It just is. How many times can I say that? It just is. Let it be. Okay? Next, when it comes to feeling and experiencing everything that it is to be human, first we allow, which I've already nailed into the ground. What's that word? It's not nailed into the ground. Ran into the ground. Whatever. Allowing is just, it is because it is. Okay? The next step would be to embrace it. To be like, oh, okay, this is what it is to be human. So I'm going to embrace it because I am grateful to be a human being. I'm grateful to be alive. And if this is part of being alive, then here we are. Bring it on. And the ultimate goal would be to celebrate it because you know the opportunity that is there. You know that if you are hurting, if you have found a pain point, that it's pointing to a part of yourself that you have an opportunity now to uncover, to reveal, and to heal. And from that point on, to experience more freedom and more love and more joy in your life. Another way to allow yourself to be in the low vibration moments is to remember that resistance is the real enemy. I'm choosing to choose the word enemy in this moment because what we resist persists. Once these emotions are generated in your body, they're there. Like I said, they just are. And when you suppress them, when you resist them, they're not going anywhere. So you're like, oh, I can't feel this because I need to keep high vibe and attract all the good things that I want, blah, blah, blah. It's still there. And if we're leaning into this philosophy that like attracts like, then you are going to attract the like. One of my favorite philosophies when it comes to processing our emotions is what's coming is going. You simply just need to feel it sometimes and then it's gone. But when we don't, it doesn't go away. It just hides. Or better put, we hide from it. We run away or we numb ourselves. We distract ourselves, which can quickly lead to apathy. Because when you have so many things you're trying to distract yourself from, you just keep pushing those feelings away. You eventually push all your feelings away and you're left with numbness, right? Or we beat ourselves up for it, which quickly will lead to guilt. Or we hate ourselves for it, which is shame. And those are the three. Those are the three that we don't want. So resistance is the real enemy here. That's why I say that. So I'm going to leave you with the wise words of the Beatles. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Truly though. That is the simple, wrap it all up, short phrase of it all, just let it be. What's coming is going. This is but a moment. Let it teach you what it's here to teach you. And remember that resistance is the real enemy. Resistance is what leads to apathy, guilt, and shame, which are the only three emotions that I really just don't see serving a purpose. The only ones that are only hurtful and never helpful. Okay? That is all for today. As always, please feel free to share this with somebody who you'd love to contemplate this with, somebody who you think it might be helpful for. And thank you again for your support. I'm here for it. I'm here for you. And I hope you have a beautiful day.